Hey Internet, JTag here from Mandolin Deep Cuts. Today we are going to be getting into the Bach Minuet in G. It's a super simple tune, wasn't actually written by Bach anyway, but we'll get into that later. This, Baroque era tune is in 3/4 time, used to grace 18th century ballrooms, right? Nowadays it's sort of the first piece of classical music that violinists that are young and on the Sazuki path will end up playing. It's a fantastic intro to classical music. Stick around, I got dots, I got tabs, we're gonna have a good time. The Minuet in G major is often associated with Johann Sebastian Bach because it appears in the notebook for Anna Magdalena Bach, a collection of music compiled in the 1720s. However, musicologists now attribute it to Christian Petzold, a German composer and organist. The misattribution stuck for centuries, that's hundreds of years, because the notebook did not always list composers' names next to pieces. Christian likely composed the Minuet in G major around the early 1720s during his time as organist in Dresden. No signed Petzold score for these minuets has ever been found, and if it existed, it was likely lost in the destruction of Dresden's archives during the 7 Years' War, sometime in the 1750s, 1760s, or World War II bombings in 1945. Its companion piece in G minor, which is lovely, it's also in the Anna Magdalena Bach notebook, creates a nice emotional contrast and is sometimes performed with this same tune. Don't worry, we're going to get to that soon. From a music theory perspective, we have a tune here that is in 3/4 time. So 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3. We'll feel that pulse throughout the entire piece. We're in the key of G major, which means 1 sharp, right? We're in a binary form, or that's how this tune is written in, which means we've got an A section and a B section, and they both repeat. The A section pretty much just stays in the key of G, whereas the B section does meander into the dominant, right? It goes into the key of D for a hot minute, but it does get back to our original home base. We've got lots of stepwise motion, meaning that we're just going up and down different notes of the scale a lot of the time, although there are a few arpeggios to outline a few fun, sexy, and sassy chords, right? So let's learn a simple version of this tune. Let's start this bad boy off, right? So we will do, that's our first phrase. So starts up on this high D, just walks up that portion of the scale, back up to the high D, and then back down to G, our home base. If you want to gussy that up, you can just do those first 2 open strings before you hit that D. And then hit everything again, and then sometimes I like to do a little double stop with 4 and 5 on the G and D string, respectively. Next up, right? So we're just going to hit that E, walk up to that G, stepwise motion, folks, stepwise motion, and then back to the home base. Next, we can do this C. You can do a double stop if you want with the E under it. So there'd be 2 on the D string and 3 on the A string. You can also do a little bit of a trill, right? So you can just kind of flick your finger out if you want from the C to that next note D on the 5th string. Sorry, on the 5th fret on your A string. And then I like to do right? right? So C, do 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 do, do 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 do. Sounds a little bit like that one Christmas song, In Excelsis Deo, you know, In Excelsis. You can kind of get a lot of your G string just kind of ringing most of this, right? Right there, hit those two understrings. And if you want to do there, you can do that A on your G string, so that's 2. You can do a little quick pull off there. I don't know. That's what I would kind of do. So for that whole phrase, right? Just some ways to make that more fun along the way. Next part, for the most part, repeats a large section of that. Right? We're familiar with that already, and we're familiar with this next. Yeah, and we're familiar with this next part. It's really only those last 2 measures that make any difference, right? So, and then, yeah, I just noticed that I threw the C under this E. So that'd be 3 on the A string with the open E string ringing there. So you don't have to. No one wrote that in, right? But it's fun. Sorry if you hear my dog in the background. He's just kind of walking around here. Yeah, that's about the piece here. You'll notice a few spots for trills, right? And trills are very difficult on mandolin. With violin or with other instruments, right? With violin or guitar, right? You have more sustain, right? And so you can just kind of flick it out and get it. It's a little difficult here, so you have to plan your trills a little more on mandolin, or choose to omit them. That's fine. Either way, you're playing this tune for you, right? Wonderful. Let's move on to the B section. Let's play portions of this B section, right? Yeah. Let's play this first phrase. It starts at this high B, right? And you could do some funny things going into some different, areas of your instrument on your neck. If you're lucky, you can just kind of touch the whole thing, right? You can make this nice reach because we have a B. And it's very nice if you can do this. If you have a tiny hand, it might be a little bit difficult, right? You might have to come over here in order to play this, right? That's going to be around the 7th fret. If you're lucky, this is how I would recommend it. Even if it's a little uncomfortable, but you can do it, I'd recommend doing it because it's going to get some nice stretching going on. It's going to get you more accustomed to that. But we're going to be playing through this 2 times. So feel free the first time to do this nice stretch. And the second time through, right? We get a slightly different color. We get a slightly different tone. The notes feel like 10 to 20% different if you play the same note on a different area on the instrument. So it's nice to have those other opportunities, right? So this first bar. We're going to land on this A. Nothing too crazy there, right? Right, and here we've kind of gone into D a little bit, the key of D. Right? Maybe not, but I kind of think of it that way. So we'll just work our way from the very tippy top of the instrument, almost where what most people play, down to around the middle of the instrument, right? It's a nice run. I enjoy playing that. There's some areas where you can let some strings ring. I definitely hit that D and A under that. And you can just, nice G chord there if you're so inclined. And here, if you want to, you can do an E under that C sharp, so it's going to be a 2 on the D string. Right? Yeah, probably sounds better. 2 on the G string, open, open. So I would go. If you want to make it spicy. But you don't have to do any of this. Pretty easy next phrase, but it's, you know, just sort of an ascending line. Right, yeah. If you want to add a little more color to that, right? It's going to be nice G chord, probably not hitting that low G. 002, well, X002. I'm doing 240, X240. Then back to X002. I'm doing 240. And then X24. Again, if you're so inclined, you don't have to do that. Let's take it from the beginning of the B section. Whoops. Yeah. For whatever reason, I do like to kind of add a little bit of a anticipatory note there. It's not written, but it's just my style. I don't know, whatever. You know, I'm trying to like improve this wonderful piece of music for whatever reason, trying to gild the lily. You don't need to really be doing that. Next up, we got this nice dance part, right? Da, 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 da. So, bum, ba, 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 da, 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 da. Love that. It's so fun. It's bouncy. You can do what you want with it, right? But it feels nice. So. And then we go ahead and finish it off, right? Yeah. Yeah, if you want some more options there, right? Yeah, so we're gonna go. So it's just gonna be a double stop, 2 on F sharp and D. Yeah. It's the low G ringing. And here we're gonna put that C under that E again. So 3 on the A string. I did that G double stop with 4 on the G string, so it's gonna be B and G. And then it's gonna be 5, 2, 3. All open with 002. 2, 4, 0. Again, it's going to be 5-2-4, just a C chord. You don't have to shake it. You don't have to hit those harmonics either. They're not written in. But it's fun, and it sounds nice. Let's take this from the top. We'll play it through once, sort of chill without adding much to it, and then we will play it through one more time, adding a little zest. Sorry, I forgot the A. Forgive the flubs. I am a normal person, not a professional musician. Wonderful. That is the easy version of that tune. Now let's make it a little spicier. Here is me playing this piece with my more doctored version in the studio. Yeah, here's my more doctored version for this. This is originally a piano piece, right? So I took large portions of the right hand and put them into the treble clef, and then I took large portions of, well, I took some portions of the left hand, of the bass part, and put that into the treble clef as well. That makes it a lot more difficult, but it's a lot more fun to play. The skill cap on this is significantly higher. You're welcome to steal parts of it, whatever you want to do here. But I just find this insanely fun to play, even when I mess it up. So we're going to start off on the A section, right? 4, 5, 5. And then we're going to walk up the scale, starting with your finger on the G note on the 5th fret, right? And we're going to hit this this B and D together, X 9, 5, and then slide down, X 5, 2. Yeah, it's a nice part, and If you're not used to playing up here, this is going to be hard. But just practice it. You'll get better. You'll just learn where these things are, where these common double stops are. And yeah, you'll just grow, you know. As a mandolinist, you'll just get better learning this kind of stuff. So the first phrase. Right, we're just going to hit 3 and 0, so the C and the E, and then walk up that scale again. 2 and 3 for that G, and we're going to go, right, that G and B double stop, 5 and 2. Then kick it up a little bit with 7 and 3, right? And that's a jump. That's an awkward jump, right? But we're putting a piano part into a mandolin part. So, you know, you just kind of deal with it. 002. Right? That's going to be 7 and 4. Right? Yeah. So let's play again till they're slow. Yeah, and there's this downward bass line in the piano part that we just kind of take from. If that's kind of difficult because you need those 3 beats to kind of catch your breath mentally, that's fine. For me, I kind of have to have this entire thing memorized in order for me to play it. Any chord melody on mandolin, I tend to have to just memorize. Yeah. Cool. Let's move on to the next part. It's going to start off the same. Oh, actually, no. I play this one a little bit differently. Forgot. Yeah, actually just do a whole different hand position here. And I just go... just for varying it up, right? It's all in first position that is there. Yeah, 7-5, that jump from the G, that 3 and 2, down to the 7 and 5, and then 5 and 0, can be tough, right? Again, I'm playing this by myself for the most part, so I try to get as much maximum fun out as possible. And we'll finish it off with this 7 and 3, right? Another double stop. And we'll hit that 5 and 7, XX double stop. Yeah. Nothing too, you know, it's a little bit crazy, I'll be honest. There's some jumps, there's some skips. It's spicy, it's sexy, but, you know, it's fun. Let's start at the beginning slow. That's the A section. It is difficult, actually. I should just straight up say that. But it's super fun, super fun. Let's hit up this B section. You kind of got to start up here. So we're hitting the 10th fret and on the A string and the 7th fret on the E string, right? Right? Whoops, I messed up that double stop. Yeah, we'll do that a little slower, right? We hit this double stop, push this pinky out, and we slide down for this next double stop. And then we'll walk up and down. For another double stop, we'll slide down again. And then we got to do some jumpage. We're back to home base though. We're back to first position, right? Yeah, that one's tough. Yeah. Yeah, there's no making that sound. There's no more, even more making that more difficult. You can add a drone every once in a while, but whatever. Right, just a nice walk up. Going right up the scale. Just a nice series of double stops, just to kind of like. Just to exercise you, you know, just to give you, you know, a few heart palpitations. I'm joking. They're not hard and they sound beautiful. I do love them. I do love them. So let's work our way to there. Okay, and then here comes the fun dancey part, right? But we've made it 10 times harder for no reason. We go up to this 10, right? And we fall down to 0 to X95. So that's how I do it. And then we got 10 and 7. It ends, instead of 5-4 or 4-5 like the previous one did, it's 5-5. So right. We'll try it one more time. And then we will do these next double stops. Just a nice slide down. It's a good way to get introduced to these. These are common double stops that you can use in a bunch of different genres of music on the mandolin. Right, so you got to hit this little trill. It's so fun. Right? It's this 5-2 to the C. And if you play the hard version, you actually do have to hit those harmonics and you have to shake it out at least one time. Used to do that on stage with electric guitar with harmonics and feedback, and I don't know. It felt cool then. It's not cool now because I'm old. But let's give these double stops their due once more. That's the tune. That's the whole tune. There you go. That's the whole tune at slow speed. And that concludes Bach, Petzels, Minuet in G. Hopefully it was a helpful video. Let me know down in the comments below what other tunes you'd like me to cover on this channel. Additionally, just let me know what you're practicing. I love hearing that sort of stuff. As a reminder, I've got tons of sheet music available at mando.studio. I've also got a Patreon, and I got stuff on iTunes and Spotify, all that jazz. Until we meet again, thanks for watching. Do good things. Godspeed. Bye-bye.